That's true.
All right. Hey guys!
Hey guys!
Welcome back to Power Trip.
Welcome back.
Vanderhoff is back with us.
I was
He
banished
is.
from the couch once again.
Because he never went home, actually.
I call him Vandersnatch. Like Bandersnatch,
Bandersnatch.
get it?
I get it.
Vandersnatch.
Yes. Yeah,
I thought it was Vanderschlong or something.
Baron von
Baron von
Vanderslang. No.
That's what it was.
It was something like that. But anyway, that's who. Shut up! It's next month.
It is. It's already next month. I can't believe it. So we got the next retro...
Next
video
retro
games,
game box.
Video Games Monthly.
Video Games Monthly.
I have to say, thank you to everybody who commented on the first
Yes.
video. I mean, there was some really great comments, and it's
good
funny.
reception to this.
Yeah, it's funny. Somebody had made a comment about how in order to try to maybe avoid getting some of the like lesser titles that you don't really care about, I actually employed that.
The strategy.
That strategy actually when I first filled out the games that I have on their collection, where I saw a game and I'm like, man, I really don't want to get that one, so I actually clicked the check that I have it so that I wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm ready to go.
yeah.
Did you take
see.
DS off?
I did not.
kept it-
I
you kept
kept
everything on there?
everything the way that it was. It made sense why I got 6 games instead of 5, because apparently that first thing that I pulled out was the it's a video game 1-up thing. It was the video
Yes.
game cleaner.
Yes.
So when that 1-up is in there, that means that you're gonna get like a bonus game because you
Yeah.
got a 1-up.
That makes
basically.
sense considering the
So
tiers
that's
were,
why. So it wasn't- yeah.
5 and 7.
So it wasn't a mistake that there was
Oh, so it's like
6
a
games
random
in there.
thing they put
Random.
in
It's
a
it
box.
happens at
bonus.
random. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that's kinda
cool.
cool.
That's cool, though.
But yeah,
So-
to echo his sentiments, thank you everybody for the comments
Yeah.
and the insight on how this works. So we're gonna give this
Yep.
another shot and see what we come up with.
Yep, and I know that obviously with Video Games Monthly, they have to make profit too. So
Right.
the dollar amount will not always match what you are paying for it because that's their business. But I really don't want to get shovelware like I did last time.
That's
Okay.
right. So here we go. Video Games Monthly box number
Yep.
2.
Okay, so there are no. Okay, there's like no cards and no 1-ups.
It's all
So one up some
NES.
stuff.
Okay. Oh boy,
It's all NES games.
it's a
Poison mushroom this time.
it's a sealed DS game.
Shouldn't have put DS on your
I
list.
should have. No, well, hey, Jeopardy. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Geopardy.
And
Does
that's
it
a-
have like a Sir thing? Like,
That's a
or
good seal.
No,
Just
no, it's just
Okay,
it's just
Jeopardy for
Jeopardy,
the
and
DS.
that's sealed. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Alex Trebek. Oh, rest in
400
peace.
puzzles.
2,400 clues.
Are we considering this? You said it was sealed?
That's sealed.
We're considering
and
it
that's,
new?
and that's an actual seal.
That's a new.
All right.
Yeah, you can look at the folds in the corners.
You
It's a
can,
real
you
seal.
heck
can
is
see
this?
them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's what is this?
Money.
What the hell? Polka Dollar!
Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all.
What is
$1 million Pokemon dollars.
What is that?
I don't know.
me see.
This is really cool.
Pokemon, abbreviated from the Japanese title Pokemon. This there's no. Okay.
It's just extra.
just cute.
It's just in there.
Memorabilia.
Put it over with the
kind of?
Pokeballs. and
Heck
stuff.
yeah, it's
Interesting.
gonna go with the other Pokemon stuff
That is
because it's
kinda
Jesse,
cool.
because it's Jesse and James.
All right.
Okay, Big Strike Bowling for the PS1. I finally got my first PS1 game,
Big Strike Bowling.
and it is disc only.
Big Strike Bowling.
Okay. There she be, the business card for Retro or Video Games Monthly. Okay, let's see, Sega Genesis game coming up now.
All right.
The Jungle Book.
Book.
I'm okay with
Alright.
that. I'm
Hey.
okay with that.
As long as it's not the Lion King.
Oh God.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Lion King in there.
On
Okay,
Genesis.
there are
On-
2
even on
games
Super
left.
Nintendo. It's terrible.
We'll do this one. This definitely feels like a. This might be a sports title for the Genesis. It's Power Monger.
Oh.
Strategy
Ah.
game, I think.
Is
isn't
it?
I
Yeah.
think
I
so.
think
It's
so.
not.
Oh, it's
a-
Electronic Arts. It's just a bigger
Yeah.
one.
Because all
Power
EA games
Monger.
were
Okay, yeah, we're that bigger.
big that
They
one.
had
Yeah.
that little card. Yeah.
Okay, and
All one word, right?
yes, no, I think Power Monger. Whoopsies. Power Monger is 2 words.
Oh, okay.
Here comes Kratos.
And no. And then this is going to be a DS game. It's I can't tell if it's sealed or if this is a reseal. It feels like a reseal.
Barbie.
Biggest loser.
Biggest
They're
loser.
telling you something. Last one you pull out, you're the biggest loser today, Paul.
Wow.
And this is rated E for everyone, but there is an alcohol reference.
That is
Sweet.
a reseal.
That's definitely a reseal.
But so it's complete
So
at
it's
least.
complete.
Who would have paid $9.99 for this game at retail?
So that's the last thing.
Yep.
All
That
right.
is the box.
You gotta take DS
Well, what are your
I got
impressions here?
I got to take DS off of this. Yeah, you're only gonna get junk for the DS, so I need to just Oh boy. I feel like I got a little bit more variety this time.
Only one sports title. Well,
Not-
only one sports title.
Power Monger is a
I don't
sports
think
title?
that's a sports title.
No.
Then I didn't get a
I'm
sports.
strategy.
Oh,
It's
big strike bowling is a
Is it?
sports. I guess.
Kind of like Populous or something
Oh.
like that, maybe.
What?
Big
That's
power monger.
What is it? That's Power Monger.
it's a strategy.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
It's
like,
like
a
a
real time.
civilization
Yeah, it's like a
type.
real time
Yeah.
strategy.
Interesting.
I do feel like there was a little bit more variety this time around.
Yeah.
So I'm not disappointed. This is the kind of box that I think, like, if I got more of this every month, then I think I would probably be more apt to just kind of
Yeah.
leave it go and
Because to be honest, Jungle
yeah.
Book is, from what I remember, Jungle Book's a pretty good game for the Genesis.
And
A
to
lot
be
of
quite
the
honest,
Disney
yeah.
ones on Genesis were
Yeah.
yeah,
pretty
they're
good.
better than the Super
Aladdin.
Nintendo.
Like Aladdin,
Aladdin. I
better on the
really-
Genesis than the
Genesis
Super
is
Nintendo.
better than
You,
Super
no,
Nintendo.
no. That's
Sorry,
where
Paul, you're wrong.
That's where we draw the line.
Sorry,
no,
you're wrong,
no,
Paul.
All right,
Super
so are we
Nintendo.
ready for the breakdown?
So yes. So let's see what the breakdown is this month.
We'll start from the bottom of the barrel.
All right.
Biggest loser, no surprise to anybody.
$2.
That was complete,
Complete.
$2.59.
$4.
Oh my God! What?
Next,
Really?
we have Big Strike Bowling.
Loose.
Loose, $5.24.
Not bad.
Okay. Then we have Jungle Book for the Sega Genesis. Loose, $8.11.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
Then Power Monger, $9.05.
Uh huh.
And Jeopardy for the DS, sealed,
Oops, just
$9.50 for a grand total $35.90.
okay.
So
You're
less
not factoring in his million Pokemon dollars.
$1 million.
$1 million and $35.
$35.90. So
basically, you
$3 less than last time.
This is.
But
really
you also had an
interesting.
extra title last time. But to be honest, Deal or No Deal for $1.70, that really didn't change much.
This note serves as a commemoration and not legal tender.
Yeah, let's say that's
This
so
must have
bizarre.
been yeah.
That is
This
cool, though.
this
They
must have
add
been
that
from like
little
the
tidbit in there.
25th anniversary or something like that.
That
Or
further backs up mine. This is someone's extra storage they're getting rid of.
basically, yeah.
Because where do you get something like that?
Yeah. I
It
don't
had to
know.
have gone to. I think it
Somewhere.
was one of the movies. I want to say is what released with those,
Oh, maybe.
or an event,
Maybe.
or an event for one
I
of
was
like the
maybe.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
So basically, you got the same thing as last time.
I did.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But I would say personally
I
a
at
little
least-
bit better variety.
Yes, I at least
Yeah.
I was excited to see PS1 in there. Got a couple of Genesis games. I'm trying to think. So I had
Genesis games that weren't sports titles.
Yes.
I don't count Power Monger as a sports.
Well, remember what we read on the site? They removed sports titles.
Unless you ask.
Oh.
You ask for 'em?
Like with the yearly sports titles, they don't include.
They try
Right.
not to.
But
They
I mean,
try
you
not
could
to.
still get sports titles that are not a yearly thing.
Yeah, but
Yes,
they're
you
not.
could.
Well, like
there's not as
bowling.
many.
Yeah.
So
Bowling
this,
is-
although this month I do realize now that I did not get a Super Nintendo game. So I'm guessing that maybe that's a recurring theme where it's if you have a subscription of 4 games or 4 different types of games, you're not going to be guaranteed to get all of them in 1 month. Although it seems weird when you can get 5 games and you don't get like
2 of them are DS.
yeah.
That's
So.
to be honest, DS would be removed from the list for
That's
me.
what I would.
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna remove DS
I
because
wonder-
there's just way too much crap on it.
I wonder if they look at your history and go, "Oh, we didn't give them PlayStation, but gave them Super Nintendo," and they try to flex
Stagger
out.
it.
Like I
Stagger
said,
it.
I wonder how they chart that
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't know how they chart it.
Even
I-
if you say, let's say you have 1,000 people who subscribe to this service, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be something that, especially if they say no duplicates, there has to be some sort of database that gets rid of a bunch of shit. how would you keep that straight?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah,
Like the
yeah.
logistics of this service blow my mind.
Excel spreadsheet.
Oh god,
And they
but
are
I mean, maybe.
tiny, and then they can be they're automated.
But you
Maybe.
still have to manually put in what game you put in, unless that thing automatically generates it.
Well, and that's the only way I know to automate it would be basically they open up your profile, they scan basically a barcode, and then
Right.
drop it into your box,
Well,
and
I-
it just adds it to a
They
spreadsheet
could.
automatically.
My
Because
feeling
I can program that.
is
so-
they don't personally box these. They don't look on a shelf and be like,
Oh,
"Yup."
probably not. No,
I have a
they're-
feeling their system
Yeah,
just picks random
that-
ones and
that's-
goes, "Boink! Here's what you get."
Maybe.
Mhm.
Because I
Maybe.
can't imagine somebody for even 1,000 people just doing that. You know,
Yeah,
Well,
that,
then
that
again,
seems
Amazon
unrealistic.
does, so-
It's
But Amazon
Yeah.
has how many hundreds of
Have you like,
thousands of employees
I
to
mean,
do that?
you also you do it at work, so like you guys pick stuff by hand.
But we have thousands of employees. I doubt they have 1,000+ employees
This
working
is-
for video games monthly.
No, this is a group of people who basically own a video game shop, and
Yeah.
then this is like the
The
stock.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know. But
So-
either way, this isn't a bad.
I do feel like this is a little bit better than what I got last month.
Yeah.
It's enough that I'll stick around for a third month and see
Yeah?
how it plays out. So
Just don't forget to update.
Take
yes,
DS off.
I am going to be taking DS off
Yes.
because I don't know. It's
I
and
forgot how bad like
I
some
have-
releases for DS
I
were.
I did read on some of the comments though that they said that what you can do is you can reach out to Video Games Monthly, whatever it is, and you could specifically ask for a bigger value title, like a $20 title, $30 title, but then
Yes.
you'll just
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said DS.
No.
But then what that will do is it'll offset the amount of games that you get. So if you have a subscription for 5, you may that month only get 2 games or
Makes
3
sense,
games,
makes sense.
which it does make sense. But then actually my brother commented on this too, and he made a really good point about like it's almost like opening up packs of like sports cards or baseball,
Right.
basketball cards, and it does suck that even regardless of the pack of cards that you get, you still have a chance of pulling a really, really good card. With
Right.
this, you don't have that choice. You
You're
don't
not-
have that
yeah.
chance. You're going to get
You're
stuff
not-
that is not really
You're not going to be pulling a Die Hard anytime out. or
correct.
anytime
Correct.
soon
Yeah,
out of
you're
this
not
box.
you're not going to be pulling a game out that's $30-$40, but I mean, I guess it is what it is, and like we said, I mean, yeah, the company's got to make their money back somehow.
Yes.
But
Yeah. DS.
I just wish that there was more of a chance of like pulling something like really good. Like, hey, once a month, 2 people's boxes have a $100 game in it. Like
Yeah. And it's
that
one of
would be really cool.
It's one of those things like we kind of touched on in the last video. It's like, especially with the DS, I've noticed the games are either super cheap or they're expensive. Like
Yeah, there's, like,
DS games,
nothing.
there really is no middle
There's-
ground of this is kind of like this is on the pricier. No, it's like they're either cheap or not.
Yeah.
So it's like I can kind of see why you're getting Biggest Loser, Jeopardy, games like that, because there really isn't any middle ground.
No,
For
no.
ones like that, and even these other retro game or retro systems are getting to that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, maybe not, because the NES does have a few games that are more middle ground. Like Legacy of the Wizard, I'm pretty sure is
yeah.
still like $15.
Not even. I don't
No?
even think it's $10.
Oh, that's right. I'm thinking Guardian Legend.
Guardian Legend.
Guardian
is-
Legend, I think
Even
is.
Guardian Legends, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the Nintendo still has that viability of that middle ground,
Mhm.
but other systems kind of don't.
Well, and with DS, the reason like a lot of their stuff is like it's either like all the stuff that's cheap. If you notice, it's all the same type of like Paul called it like hit it right in the head. It was shovelware based on licenses
Yeah.
that they didn't care. They got the license for cheap. They made the game
Yeah.
for cheap. They sold it for cheap. Like
Right.
that was a big issue with not only 3DS but the Wii.
The Wii.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of these really shitty titles that were just released fast because
They
they
just-
just
yeah.
didn't care.
They just
For whatever
wanted it out
reason,
fast.
those generations, Nintendo let their quality slip, and they did not care.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Granted, we also made that.
not to say like Nintendo had its share.
But then again, we also
really
saw,
shitty.
we saw
fucking
the same
games.
with what is it, Xbox Arcade on what was it,
Yeah.
360.
Yeah.
When you'd go through the store, you'd be like, I'd be embarrassed to have my name on these. Why
Yeah,
are
but
these
you know what
released?
though, Nintendo though, they were the smart ones out of it, where they only allowed the companies to produce 5 titles per year, so that it would avoid the glut. And
And yet you still got
You still
Wayne's
got-
World
Yeah, well,
and
that was near the-
Barbies and
At least
near
with
the
that,
tail end,
like
though.
like
Yeah.
NES generation, I can forgive it because the people that were programming weren't exactly super experienced at the time. But when it comes to like the DS and stuff,
Yeah.
sorry, at that point, not only has programming like the software and
You
stuff,
leaps
knew-
and bounds.
yeah.
the skills of the people involved have improved. So even like low end developers produce better games than some of the stuff. It's
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
there's no excuse for the quality of the games that were getting released.
it's very true.
Yep.
So,
Alright.
any input?
I do
So-
have to say,
So after seeing 2 months of video games monthly, is this something that you would consider? Because I know that you were on the fence about wanting to subscribe as well.
well, I
What are
actually
your thoughts?
I was going to subscribe the same time Paul did, but then I have a few more games than Paul,
Yes, you do.
and they limit you to 200 games.
Per
After
system.
200
Yeah.
per system, you can't put any more in. So I'm getting close to 200 on Genesis, so knocks that out. I'm getting close to 200 on Super Nintendo, knocks that out. I'm already over 200 on Nintendo,
Mm-hmm.
knocks that out.
I mean, you're how many do you have for Nintendo? Because you're pretty
I'm like 654 now, licensed, unlicensed.
Jesus.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I just looked, and I think if my numbers are right, I need about 115 more. That's licensed and
That's
And
right. You're doing unlicensed.
He's
so I was-
doing everything.
That's
Nintendo,
correct. I forget about
yeah.
Yep.
So I'm close on that. Wii, I'm almost at 200.
that. Yeah.
So
You're knocking everything out, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo 64, I'm at 100. I could put that in. DS, I'm at like 100. I could have put that in. I'm not really into DS collecting. Nintendo 64, I would have done. So it kind of knocked me out with that 200 limit. I thought you could put everything in there. They won't even let you put everything that you own if you have more than 200. Once you hit 200, it stops.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't put in what I have, and
You have to
So-
put in like the top 200.
Yeah.
worth.
So what I
yeah,
did here is that you can actually reach out to them and import lists. I don't know if it's like through like spreadsheets or what, but
Google
you
Drive, maybe.
yeah, maybe even through Google Drive, but you can upload your collection and then they'll work with that in order to still get you the games that you
if
don't
you're
have.
over that 200.
If you're over that 200.
See,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It's
But it's
nowhere
just-
on the website.
No, it's
And
not.
I actually, the same time Paul subscribed, I subscribed, and then because once you start inputting the games, that's when you find out you hit 200, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I could put in past 200, and then, I could get whatever else was left, or have choices for whatever else was left. So as soon as I saw that, I canceled it right away.
Yeah.
So, I think, like you guys said last time, this is more geared for someone casual.
Who wants to get into it or try something new without, like, I don't know where I'm starting, so hey, I want to start somewhere. If I get crap or if I get some really good gems that I discover in here, great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's people who don't have big collections already.
Like I said, if I had
It's-
opened
yeah.
this back in the day, like Power Monger, I would never have bought.
No.
To be honest, though, I remember the title vaguely, but I didn't know it
I never
existed.
You know,
played it,
and-
just know the title.
And
Yeah.
the thing that I really feel like this would have been, if we were kids this
That
would have
would've
been
been
this
awesome.
would have been awesome. How
yeah.
excited would
Loved it.
you have been to get something like this as a kid?
I would have
Oh,
loved
one-
it.
It's
100%.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
even if you only had between like Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and like Nintendo and Game Boy, like I mean, still you're getting a new game every month. Let alone the fact that you could get like 3 or 4 games new every month, and yeah.
The problem is, when we were kids, these games were new.
Well, and that's the
So
thing. Yeah.
you're talking
Yeah.
what, the 2, 4, 5
No,
games
I know,
here?
but what I'm saying though is
Yeah,
that
I know
think
what you mean.
As,
A kid now.
as a kid, yeah, this is great if they like retro games and have the retro systems to play them on. But as far as adults, I don't see it being a viable thing, especially for the collector base that you are really. Because, I mean, the first time I saw these guys was at the Midwest Gaming Classic.
Right.
And it's like, talk about, like, not a great group to advertise this to, because they're the people who have, like, the expensive games, who have the
Oh,
the
yeah.
large collections. It's like, they're not interested in doing stuff like this. But
They're looking for Crusaders
feel-
of Senti,
yeah, I
not
feel-
fucking Jungle Book.
I feel like there's a market for it, but it's just, I feel like it's a great idea in theory. It's just, I'm past that ability to gain from it, I guess. So, because I can tell you right now, I'm not playing The Biggest Loser. This one I actually may just end up throwing away.
No.
Then it's yours. I don't
I'll
want this.
take it.
If we had a modded DS
No.
to capture, we would be playing it.
I think that's actually of the 5. This is the only one that
That's
I
one
We
of
would do a
for.
junk
That's one of those-
episode.
That's one of those titles. Like, how do you make a game out of that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, they made a game out of fucking Survivor.
Yeah,
I mean,
at
They
least
did.
that did like
That you could turn into, like, a
more,
platformer,
mini games and
yeah,
stuff
mini
you could base
games.
it on, but
well,
like
that's what that is, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't understand. Like
I would imagine.
the entire show is about just people
Losing
losing weight.
And one of the coaches
mean-
having a heart attack,
I mean, I will.
telling these fat people you're gonna die, and he almost dies.
I mean-
how ironic.
I will say this from last month. I did play Deal or No Deal
Yeah.
on my DS, and it's exactly what you think. It's literally Deal or No Deal. You play it once, the game's done in about 5 minutes, and that's about it.
You take the bank's offer at $25,000 and say, "I did it."
and that's the thing, is because you're not actually playing. It's like you have no incentive whatsoever to
No.
ever take the banks. So it's like you almost defeat the purpose of Deal or No Deal when it's on a console, because there's no consequences
Yeah.
of taking the offer or not taking it.
Pretty sure they did like a board game of it too.
They probably did.
There is a DVD. We have it.
Yeah.
DVD you put in and.
Oh, and then you
use
just
the
play it with the
remote,
remote.
you pick.
Yeah.
But what they needed to do, at least with something like that, is have a shop where you at least spend the money, avatars or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in-game money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or hell, I suppose really, if you're playing as an adult, just make bets. Everybody puts in.
Well, I suppose you could do that. Yeah.
could.
Whoever
Yeah.
ends up with the highest thing at the end of the night takes the bank. Like,
Yeah. You know what the next video is, huh?
yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, Kevin, were you gonna say something?
No, the only way this would have worked for like when we were kids was it would have been like Atari and stuff like that instead of
The
Nintendo.
The really older stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it still could have been viable for like cheap when we were younger, but it would have been systems that we didn't necessarily grow up with.
Mhm.
They would have been the
Yeah.
systems like our parents.
Our
had.
parents.
2600
Yep.
television,
Yeah.
Coleco, Magnavox, Odyssey.
It would have been
Yeah.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
ones that were already like phased out by the time we were playing.
I
Nintendo
still would have
and-
liked that though.
Oh, me too.
I
See,
mean,
it would
you-
have still been interesting because
Yeah.
it would have been seeing a different aspect of gaming you weren't necessarily seeing because that's not what our focus was when we were a kid. We had the Nintendo. Why would we look back to those?
Yeah.
I mean, we
Whereas
did.
now-
Well, at that time, it was forward, not backwards.
I mean, most of
Yeah.
us growing up at our grandparents' house, we played Atari. You know what I mean?
That's
like
what I
that.
at my aunt's house,
Yeah.
I played the Atari.
Every
2600,
gathering,
yeah.
I remember we brought the Nintendo one time, and nobody played it. We played Atari
Atari
with our cousins.
2600.
Like, it was weird. Like, it was a very odd
I
experience
was at
thinking
my-
back on it.
It was
But
at my aunt's house the first
Yeah.
time I ever played E.T. on the Atari, and I thought, this game is fun, but I just don't know how to play it. And it
That was
wasn't
the thing.
and it wasn't until I was an adult where I realized, like, yeah, this is just it's a pretty bad game. But I still, because of that, I have a
Memories of it.
I have a very
Memories.
soft spot of E.T.
Yeah.
and I love that game still.
Indiana Jones. I remember playing,
Oh,
never
Raiders of the
understanding.
Lost Ark?
Yeah, never
Yeah.
knowing what the hell is happening. All I know is he goes up on a thing, and I don't know
Because
what
you
happened.
No,
You
at
needed
that
2
time.
joysticks.
At that
I don't know,
time,
I
it was
fell in
just
a
fun
pit.
doing it, though.
Mhm.
Even
It was-
though you didn't know what to do.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was just very strange. Kroll. I remember beating Kroll as a kid. I don't know how,
Wow.
but I did.
I
but like,
remember that game.
yeah, watching my cousins just play stuff like Fast Eddie, like it was cool. Like,
Mhm.
but I don't know.
Root beer tapper.
Root beer tapper. Fuck yeah.
Combat and Frogs and Flies. Those are the big ones. And then
Pac-Man.
the horrible version of Pac-Man on the 2600.
G.I. Joe. Remember G.I. Joe with the Cobras?
Yep.
Oh,
Cobra
Yep.
Strike.
Kaboom with the
Yeah.
Paddles.
With the paddles, Circus
controllers. That
Circus
was another
Atari.
good one.
Circus Atari.
Oh
Wow. Uh oh. Now we're starting to
This is an
down
Atari
nostalgia
episode.
road. Here we go. So,
yeah. Porky's.
well, I think that'll.
Puyan. Puyan
Oh,
was a good one.
Well,
Yeah.
I think will that do it for this month?
I think so. So
All right.
are we sticking around for another month?
I'll stick around for another month. I am like I said though, I am getting DS off this list.
Cut the DS.
That
I would.
okay, and I don't know if it's just because of the DS games that I already have, but I have been thoroughly disappointed with every single DS game that I have gotten on this so far.
Jeopardy's about the
Yeah.
only one that's.
Jeopardy is the only one that really is like playable at this
Yeah.
point.
Jeopardy is one of those games that it's
It doesn't
basically
matter.
timeless.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what system it's for or how it's done.
There's always going to be some form of trivia that you don't know.
exactly.
Like that's the beauty of Jeopardy. There's fucking
Exactly.
endless facts in the world
Yep.
that you can make fucking Jeopardy rounds.
Yep.
Paul.
So, but yes.
My offer still stands. I put in the comments section, I have an extra new in box copy of The Bachelor. I'll trade it to you for Megamind for the DS.
Oh my god.
If only it was Bachelor for what, the Wii was it on? Or something? The Bachelor was on one of them where you could choose
I think so.
it was like
Why?
Bachelor, Bachelorette.
Why would they?
Oh
why
my God,
would they
dude,
even
it
make
is-
a game of The Bachelor?
It's-
And that was
so
the question:
funny.
how do you turn these types of shows into games?
Why?
You can't.
Somehow I have 2 copies. I don't know how.
Yeah, we know how. You were like, oh, why not? It's cheap, and you bought it.
That probably was it.
Oh,
it was probably like
God.
a buck or something.
Is it brand new shrink wrapped?
It is.
He was
Is it?
He was doing
No.
a freaking
I
like
still
a
can't,
prototype.
no.
After all, why not? Why shouldn't I? Mine.
But yeah, so we'll be around for another one of these.
We will.
So there you go. Let us know in the comments what you think. If let us know what you think of these polls.
I was gonna say, let us know what you think of this month. If you think that it was better than last month, or if it's in line, or maybe even a little bit worse.
I know we've had some comments with people who have this service, and they kind of gave us some pointers on it as well. What were your best pickups from this box?
I would love
from
to-
this service.
yeah.
I would love to hear some stories of people's polls from these.
I would definitely love to hear some comments about, like, yeah, what your best pull was and what kind of solidified you to say, like, you know what, I'm going to stick around with this.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear too.
I really would like to hear that.
Me too. So you can always hit us up on Facebook.
You can hit us up on Twitter.
Go to powertripgaming.tv. Takes you right to the channel where you can watch all of our videos where we're tackling the NES collection.
I just have to break into saying, I love when you say something not the way that you're used to saying it, because
stutters.
you could just hear you verbally tripping, like, man, your brain is just like, wait, this isn't the way I say it, but I'm just gonna go with it, and maybe it's going to sound fine.
It's better than going,
Is it? Is it because it's NES and not NES?
You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. You can listen to the PTG Powercast, where we talk about video games, pop culture, comic books, anything else.
fuck you.
Shit! It was Bilbo, not Frodo. I fucked up. End it.
Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You're fucking done. I'm gonna put you in the box and mail your ass back. Next time on Power Trip,
We'll open something better.
we'll power trip over the ending.
Oh my god.
Da, 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 da.